Hi, gentlemen. So, myogenic regulatory factors. That is what is in control of hypertrophy. Or, to better put it, that is what is in control of how fast your muscles grow and how much they can grow in absolute terms. So, if we want to solve the problem of hypertrophy, of muscle growth, if we want to unlock its chains, we really have to know how the myogenic regulatory factors work. So, myogenic regulatory factors were first discovered by the studying of muscle stem cells because they actually control the myogenesis of the muscle stem cells. So when the muscle stem cell becomes activated, it then transitions to proliferation, then to differentiation, then to fusion and maturation, and all of those processes are controlled by the myogenic regulatory factors. And you might know some of them. The most famous ones are MyoD and Myogenin. But there are other ones like MERV4 and MEF2 and so on. But the thing is that until a while back, we thought they only expressed themselves when muscle stem cells were indeed going through the process of maturating into muscle fibers. So when muscle stem cells are being activated, they transition to myoblasts, then they fuse to the existing muscle fibers, and then renew and repair the existing muscle fibers. And in science, it was firstly discovered that they were involved in this role, and we thought that they basically did this. That's what they did. They worked on the development and on the development of the maturation of the myoblast into a muscle fiber, and then they were done. The thing is that, for example, MERV4 is highly expressed in muscle fibers, in mature muscle fibers. The other ones, though, they are not that well expressed. They are not as predominant in mature muscle fibers. With the caveat that when you do work out, we see a spike in myogenin and myod, for example, and those two are the ones that get a bigger bump. When you do work out, myogenin and myod get upregulated for 24, maybe even 48 hours. It depends on how much you've been training. But the thing is, in rat studies, they found out that they could trace the anabolic breaks, or when your muscle fibers start to hamper down hypertrophy, when they start to say, kind of, take it easy, boy, that's enough growth. You are big enough. We don't want muscle. Is expensive to the human body. It takes a lot of energy to have a lot of muscle mass. It's a very expensive tissue in terms of the energy demands and the nutritional demands. So there has to be some sort of breaks to bring down hypertrophy if it ever gets out of control. Which, if you don't take a lot of steroids, it usually never happens unless you are some genetic freak. But, however, what they found out with that rat study is that at some point, when you start to work out, you get that bump of myod and myogenin, and they even look at the IGF-1, which is the insulin growth factor 1. And they found out that when those proteins start to come down, their levels start to come down. Even if you work out, they don't activate as much. That is associated with less protein synthesis and less muscle growth. So they were able to trace and associate the downregulation of MyoD and myogenin with the downregulation of muscle growth, right? And it makes perfect sense that this would be the case, because MyoD and myogenin, being the myogenic regulatory factors, they are transcription factors, which means that they bind to certain regions of the DNA to enhance the translation of said genes. So MyoD and myogenin are involved in transcripting growth genes. They bind to genes that are involved in muscle growth and proliferation and regeneration. So when their levels come down, you get less activated or less activity of those genes, less RNA expression, less protein expression of said genes. So it makes obvious sense that this would be the case, that if the myogenic regulatory factors are indeed in control of muscle growth and hypertrophy, then when they come down, you get less transcription, you get less output of the byproduct or the product of those genes, which are RNA that then gets turned into protein, that then constitutes muscle fibers. So don't forget that name, myogenic regulatory factors. Those are the proteins that are indeed in control of muscle growth, and in future videos I would like to handle and try to give you my best advice based on the scientific evidence that I've seen, as to what you can do to really potentiate and augment and try to take advantage of those myogenic regulatory factors as much as you can, so that you can grow and you can have your cake and eat it too. So you can stay natural and still have muscle growth happen. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next video. Hey fellow warrior, thank you for watching that. And if you liked that video, you would also like to know that I've made my workouts and meal plans completely available for free. All you need to do is go to my website, which the link will be in the description of this video, and pick your poison, whether if you want to gain muscle or looks fat and look completely shredded. You can pick whichever style of workout suits you better, and you can pick the meal plans according to your goals. Don't miss out on the opportunity, as for now they are completely free.